Welcome back to the continued adventures of Hill Orc Fighter Giac of Zen, of course, Zen-based god. And yeah, this is going to be a cool episode, so I decided to audio commentate it, because it wasn't the usual boring Abyss running. So I re-equipped based on the lessons learned from the previous session, where I kind of got irritated with my failure to crack to find and crack a rune vault, and just kind of kept at it until I finally did it. Learned a bunch from that session and redid my spells. Had some very suboptimal spell choices and changed my equipment a little bit as well. So now I've got the rune, and I'm just running Abyss a bit more to test whether my changes indeed are superior as I expect them to be. So anyway, this is the first jump into the Abyss since getting the rune, and just looting so far. As you can see, infinite Abyss farming with Zen is very easy to do, and you haven't even seen my upgraded tactics yet, so it's even easier when done correctly. Now that I've got the Staff of Energy, I can have infinite MP at the cost of some hunger, in case I go 0 MP from the crystal ball. I'm kind of wanting to fight some more vaults, but I'm still obeying the rule of taking every exit that I see. So probably if I wanted to find vaults, I would have to stop following that rule. Well, at least if I wanted to find some deeper vaults. The shallower ones don't have as good loot. I guess if I were going to farm Abyss 5 with maximum safety, then I would have to try to stealth my way all the way down, and then exit as soon as I get a kill exit. It'd be pretty difficult to finish a loot vault before getting a kill exit, though, so I guess the way to do it would be to not leave upon getting the kill exit, and instead just trust that the rune will make it easy enough to exit. So I think post-Rune I'll stop taking the first exit I see. I'm comfortable doing that. So that was a pretty standard kill, just the Guardian Golem first, and then the Spectral Weapon, so that damage sharing from the Spectral Weapon doesn't, so that the negative impact of damage sharing is cut in half by the Guardian Golem. Now I've got a decent fight coming, so with this Profane Servitor. So I went ahead and recited. The Profane Servitor does not have RF, so the Flame Axe is a good choice, and so is Sticky Flame, which is a great spell that I just overlooked. It's fantastic in Abyss. Now it's getting more serious. There's a Starcurse Mass on screen, which is a big problem, and a Wretched Star, which is a medium problem. So Reflection for the Wretched Star will bounce off its energy orb, and then I need to engage the Starcurse mass immediately. I need to break contact with the profane servitor while I do that. So Sticky Flame is great versus Servitor because it bypasses not only his AC but his insane EV. And then if you break contact, then he has no chance to vamp drain. So this is a good test of my new tactics. I'll have to step around the profane servitor. Here's where swiftness might pay off a little bit. If I put the Galubria passage in front of the Starcurse mass, maybe it would have come to me. Something to think about, or maybe, I'm not sure if I want that to happen, and I don't think the placement is that precise anyway. Anyway, I get Sticky Flame on the Starcurse mass, and that's going to suppress it for many turns, because it'll keep taking damage, which will cause it to recombine, so it won't develop critical mass, which is where it becomes a real problem. So it can just be ignored now while it's burning, which is fantastic. It allows me to engage the other threats instead of wasting turns stepping towards the Starcurse mass to try to finish it. So now I can focus on this wretched star. I'm not sure if I'm not sure whether my Guardian Golem is still alive, so I might be taking damage here from the Profane Servitor on the Spectral Weapon. So, but getting the, I'm not sure whether the Guardian Golem is going to show up from off screen walking towards me, so that's why I went ahead and did Summon Light and Inspire instead, to where it can fire at the incoming hopefully line up a two-shot on the star and the servitor, or the star and the monstrosity, or whatever it's called. Abomination, yeah. The large one. Starcurse mass continues to be suppressed. I lost my Spectral Weapon, so I went ahead and took that as a sign that my Guardian Golem was down and resummoned him. It's just fantastic free HP. It just soaks up hits, which is exactly what you want in an endurance game like the Abyss. And I realized that I'm letting my MP get too low here, so I need to Crystal Ball, Vitalize him in Crystal Ball. Yes, that was a mistake. Shouldn't let it get down to half. I should do it at 2/3 at the latest. Oh, right now I'm swapping rings so I can blink away from the... What am I doing? Oh, I've got the axe out, so I'm just swinging because I've got a good cleave situation here, and I just want to... Yeah, it's good cleave because the Spectral Weapon is also cleaving on the Starcurse mass, so... and I've got Shroud up. So I guess I don't feel the need to restore my MP right now. I should just swing instead. The Tentacle Monstrosity is still confused from the Recite, so just blitzing down the Profane Servitor with the Flame Axe. Could be using, well, I could switch to the Holy Wrath Whip, or Scourge. But I decided to just keep swinging because I'm getting double swings on him with the Spectral Weapon. And if I do anything else, then he gets to hit my Spectral Weapon, which adds up damage. So just want to hurry up and finish him so that I can finish off the Starcurse mass, which is no longer burning. So I need to get back to him soon. One more burn should finish him off. Yeah, now the Starcurse mass is at 3, so he's lined up for a Ice Blast shot, so I can maybe put him down with this. Oh, he still has a tiny bit of HP remaining. He's still doing chip damage, so I want to put a stop to that. I could javelin him here. Instead, I step forward to go for some more cleave. Now there's a smoke demon on screen which can smite, and my MP is going even lower. But yeah, I started burning, and then I killed the one that was burning, which was bad. So shouldn't have done that. And now I'm using the flame axe on the smoke demon. I should be using the mace. So maybe not perfect execution, but you know, that was my first try with the new tactics, and I think it went much better than I would have using the old tactics. So I call that a success. Can definitely tighten up the execution though. Okay, now there's a Lich, and unfortunately the terrain favors him with his bolt spells, which I lack. Can fire through my summons. So I could back off with a Passage of Glubria, but instead I choose to block, which maybe is not the right call, because if that demon had been significant, then that would have been a problem. On the other hand, the Guardian Golem does occupy his attention. Unfortunately, the Mana Viper is not swapping with the Guardian Golem, so probably would have been better to wait before summoning the Mana Viper. Mana Viper gets knocked back by a Force Bolt, whatever that's called, and I've got a Minor Demon incoming. So Mana Viper goes back in, and I Portal Projectile down the Lich. Well, the only thing he really did was, you know, kill the Guardian Golem. So again, with the free HP, and I gained HP in that fight. So bunch of skulls. It's a great opportunity, flying skulls. Great opportunity for recite. Turns them into pillars of salt, which unfortunately reduces line of sight. So I don't get as many kills as I could have otherwise with the fog generated. And so I guess my theory about there being a big welcoming party after getting the rune is wrong. I think what's happening is maybe there's an accelerated spawn rate. Just my feeling that it kicks up after you get the rune. Which would make sense in game design terms, because exits are easier to come by, and presumably the character is a lot stronger at that point, so to keep it interesting. Still immediately taking exits, which is a hard habit to break. And yep, I didn't sit down to think through whether I wanted to break that habit until just now. I mean, in terms of just collecting free loot, that's the correct thing to do, is just always take the exit and restart. There's good loot on floor 1. Blink Scroll is great. Magic Mapping is great. So money is always good for Zen. It's free piety. Well, not free, but piety on demand. Not to mention bazaars and such. think movement in the Abyss is just about moving towards the open area, not being picky about a direction, as long as you're moving through unexplored terrain. You try to insist on a direction, then you get stymied too easily. Use Passage of Glubria to close, and then Sticky Flame immediately to suppress. And now the threat of that Starcurse Mass is just suppressed for however long Sticky Flame burns. So I can set up, my MP is getting low, so I should Crystal Ball at this point. Vitalizing Crystal Ball. I guess I decide to finish off. The Lightning Spire was really helping there to fill in the turns when I'm stepping forward instead of attacking. But instead of stepping forward and then attacking at reach, I should have closed to contact and then Sticky Flamed again. That would have been much more effective. Yeah, I just realized I should be double tapping the Starcurse Masses with Sticky Flame because it runs out before they are dead, and I don't want that. I'm pretty sure the duration would stack. Just fixing a macro right now. Oh, creating a macro to do the channel energy. I guess my Crystal Ball drained my energy to 0, so. Drop off the loot. Yeah, another thing I should do with Starcurse Masses is Portal Projectile a Javelin into the back of their rank instead of into their back rank instead of reaching for their front rank. And that way I won't have to waste a turn stepping forward, which allows them to build up critical mass and damage. Good haul. That's incorrect. Upon reviewing the footage, there wasn't a welcoming committee on my first visit. I think what happens is the Abyss spawn rate speeds up once you get the rune. Just my guess. Okay, here's another good test. Bone Dragon. Even though he does have RF, I think it's still worthwhile to Sticky Flame him because it bypasses the AC. 50% of it does, which is good on a Bone Dragon, and also you don't have to be adjacent to him while it burns down. So that's another bonus. Get my Shroud up before I stand adjacent to him, and I should have Sticky Flamed him already, but did not. Always there we go, there's a Sticky Flame. Now I should blink again. And it's getting time to crystal ball. I wonder whether Summon Lightning Spire would be effective as well. He's not elect immune, so maybe it would be. I forget what the percentage is for monsters. Percentage reduction of damage for monsters is. It might be 2/3, I remember. But even so, with how much AC he has, bypassing that AC with 1/3 damage is still a good deal for Summon Lightning Spire. And with his low EB, it's not going to be dodging shots. Something to consider. Just lost a ton of MP trying to slow him, I guess. It's not good. Really unnecessary. If I started losing HP, I could have blinked away and then slowed him. Slow is kind of a dubious hex at this point, but it's still so effective, long-lasting versus MR weak monsters. Versus popcorn like these monsters, it's not really worth casting, but sometimes there will be a strong monster where his MR is his weak point, and then slow is the hex that you'll have the best chance of landing. So I think it stays relevant for the whole game for that reason. Summon the Lightning Spire after the Guardian Golem. Got Shroud up, so I'm not too worried about taking melee damage from these guys. I'm being shielded from most of the Hellhounds by the very ugly thing, so don't need a blink right now. Go ahead and Sticky Flame the ugly thing, very ugly thing. And I'll be using the Morning Star because the Spectral Weapon because it confers max RF and also does cold damage to the RC vulnerable, to the RC minus Hellhounds. So I just got completely rolled up very quickly once I finished my casting and started swinging. Finished at full HP and MP, which is impressive. Now I've got a pack of Raiju. I know how to counter that, so I get the Trident out with a Spectral Weapon. And then 6 to snakes to get venom into them. The snakes are fast and they can run down the Raiju. I do need to replace the Guardian Golem before he detonates. That's a danger. I guess if you could get one turn detonated, I don't think you can get one turn detonated, so don't have to worry about that. Then I would get Wrathed by Zen. I could donate out of it, but Still don't want that to happen. Yeah, snakes are running him down. The one thing I didn't do was Portal Projectile there, but kind of overkill. More Raichu. Same deal again. Snakes also act as meat shields, distracting the Raichu. And then I decided to look something up. Maybe something about, oh yeah, Sticky Flame. I wanted to know whether Sticky Flame was worth casting on Bone Dragons. 2d4 minus 1 per turn. So 4.5 per turn, average. Something like that. $347, turn 347. I didn't count how many turns that combat took, but it didn't seem to take very long. So maybe Sticky Flame wouldn't be worth it. Once I've got the Spectral Weapon out, I think when I'm hitting that hard with the Holy Scourge twice, then I think it's better to swing than to Sticky Flame. But I could have set up a... oh no, Lightning Spire wouldn't have had a spot to shoot. It's stuffed on my directions, so... probably should have gone north. Yeah, trying to be too stubborn about which direction you're going in the Abyss doesn't work and lets reinforcements build up, which is not good. Yeah, like skeletons, their MR is terrible, so slowing them is worthwhile when it's something beefy that can hit hard. Oh, and I got drained to 0 again on my crystal ball. Didn't trigger it soon enough. So using the Staff of Energy to quickly recover. And then crystal ball the rest of the way. Yeah, waiting too long to crystal ball still. Another haste potion. Farming the Abyss is amazing in terms of profit. 11 haste is quite the war chest. Making it real easy. Enoxinol. I decide to close with Galubria so that he can't summon his Phoebus cloud. What I like about Sticky Flaming is even if it isn't the maximum damage thing, one can do that turn. If one needs to disengage, it'll keep whittling down that enemy. So it's like it's a hedge move. If there are reinforcements, then you've hedged. Venom works the same way earlier in the game. Because the Hellwing, I think, is batty. It'll step in and out of adjacent melee combat, so that's why Sticky Flamed it also has high AC. I think this is actually a fragment of the Starcurse mask that stepped into the Shroud of Galubria and got cut off from the main body, which is a good circumstance to use Song of Slaying. Summon Lightning Spire is helping to suppress the I didn't realize that there was another passage of Galubria underneath me. So I step to him, suppress with Sticky Flame. And then just finish with the polearm. Easy kill. Another Raiju pack. Pretty sure I can just afford to vitalize whenever it's helpful for MP. The rate of heavy gaining the Abyss is good enough for Zen that, especially at this level, I don't have to worry about it. It would be nice to have Fulminate Prison. Not sure whether Confusing Touch is completely done for usefulness, or maybe there's still some problematic low HD monsters where it's relevant. I doubt it though. I mean, Giac's actions are so powerful at this point that it's hard to see a scenario where Confusing Touch would be the best thing to do, even against something like a Death Knight with Injury Reflection. You can surround him with Sticks to Snakes, you can hex him, you can do other things. I've got a Starcurse Mask, so I'm trying to stay out of its line of sight. Now my Guardian Golem is threatening to detonate, which wouldn't be a problem where it is, but if a snake stepped adjacent to it, it would put me under penance, so I decided to reform the Guardian Golem, even though that detonation would have been favorable. I think Portal Projectile here would have been the move. I wasn't thinking about that, so instead I tried to pass wall around to where the Starcurse Mass was, but it had just come around to me. I could get a nice Ice Blast on the Raiju there. Might hit an ally though, off screen. Sticky Flame be Ancient Zine. Really, he's not the problem, so I could have maybe done something about the Starcurse Mass instead. But killing him doesn't hurt, certainly. He does have some decent AC, so Sticky Flame's not bad. But now I've got an issue with Starcurse Mass on screen. I still think. I don't really want to stand where I am with the Raiju bounce lightning me. So I pass wall again through 2 blocks, and that goes okay. I don't take significant damage. Replenish my snakes. Not having a very decisive engagement here, just kind of faffing around, but you know, unlimited MP, so might as well. And I've got 2. That would be a nice Ice Blast. I should have Ice Blasted there, I think. Anyway, I've got my Spectral Weapon and pole arming away, and the Lightning Spire is able to bounce attack, I think. So that's helping a lot. Yeah, the Lightning Spire took out. Finally, I remember that I have javelins. That's from an Ifrit. That's not my golem detonating. So he takes out the last Raiju, which is fine. And I can still work him over with the freezing trident. So I go ahead and do so, accidentally step forward. And that's it for the combat. End at full HP and MP, so that's success. Even if maybe I should have been using Portal Projectile a bit more. Basically what happened was eventually the Starcurse Mass got lined up for the Lightning Spire to take it out mostly, and then I contributed with Trident. The snakes kept the Raiju distracted. Yeah, there should have been a Ice Blast in there. Okay, now I've got 3 demons, mid-tier demons, so this is significant. I kill the Smoke Demon immediately to avoid the smites, although his steam would have maybe been helpful for cover from the Cacodemon. And really I should move so that, well, I don't think I can move in such a way that the Cacodemon can't shoot at me without hitting the Executioner, unfortunately. I wanted to stop the Executioner from hasting, but I think that's hopeless, so I shouldn't have prioritized the Mana Viper. But I've got Shroud up, which is good versus the Executioner. Although now that he's hasted, it's kind of hopeless to try to keep it up. The Lightning Spire is partially blocking the Crab from doing his cloud thing. That's a good move. Also, the Crab would do a lot of friendly fire. I did recite, but it doesn't seem to have, well, the Cacodemon is corroded, but otherwise didn't do much. Not sure why I sticks to snakes. Oh, that's because I want venom on the Apocalypse Crab. He's poison vulnerable. Yeah. Although I got a poor roll and not many snakes came out. Maybe because many of the adjacent tiles were occupied, and therefore, if the tile is occupied, it just fails to make the snake. So I blink because I want to get away from. I don't want the Apocalypse Crab to melee me, even though I have Vitalize up, because you can do chaos effects on melee attacks. So I'm blinking around. The Executioner gets invised. I need to blink again. Out of the cloud, I do so. And now I can put on C invis. Here's the Executioner. Just go ahead and whack him to get rid of him. He's hasted and and get rid of the Cacodemon as well. His energy bolt was what did that chunk of damage to my HP, 40 damage. So now the problem remaining is the Apocalypse Crab. But instead I sticky flame the Hellwing, I guess, because I wanted the Apocalypse Crab to step forward so that I could blink away again. I think instead maybe I could have sticks to snakes there to try to get venom into the Apocalypse Crab and to block his cloud, his Chaos Cloud. That would have been better. So now I've got a World Binder incoming, and I order the Mana Viper to attack it in order to suppress its summoning, which can be problematic. It's got 2 Dream Sheep out, which is not good. Be good to have a Lightning Spire as well in case I get slept here. Hopefully that's what I do next. Nope, instead I'm going to Ski Flame again, which then I get slept, I think. Yeah. Okay, now I'm placing the Lightning Spire, so that's good. I think I should have maybe placed him on the left, though, to focus on the Apocalypse Crab is the real problem. Well, anyway, the Apocalypse Crab moved over there. Apparently it can't figure out how to get to me. So now, Dream Sheep are still here. I've got my Spectral Weapon out, Holy Scourge, which I think I would have been better off with the Trident here, actually. That's a better answer to the Apocalypse Crab. Now I'm slept in the Chaos Cloud, so that is not very clever, but I did have Vitalize up, so that's good. And the my allies in the meantime doing work while I'm slept, so that's the saving grace of having allies out. So I wake up with very little damage done. The Manticore hit me. Blink out of the cloud. The Chaos Crab goes down. The Guardian Golem is about to detonate, and it won't be useful, so I replace him just to be safe. And at this point, the danger is done. So I made mistakes, but I did enough right that you know, wound up at 4/5 HP and MP, which is a very acceptable result. There's some risk of sitting in that Chaos Cloud, but Vitalize takes off the worst of that. Yeah, I should have sticks to snakes more aggressively to go after the Chaos Crab. The rest of that wasn't nearly as much of a danger. This is a minor fight. I should be crystal balling soon. Gear up and then go to town with the war axe. Once again, I think maybe a trident would be the better choice. Maybe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm practically at full, both bars. Got full RF here, so the only issue is the noise. Golem's about to explode, replace him. And finish up near full, so that's good. I think at times I'm over buffing for these fights, casting more spells when I could just swing instead, which can be good for bringing out summons, but for Spectral Weapon, if the weapon type isn't right, then it's a bit of a waste. Picked up an acquirement that time, which is great. In mixed engagements, I think while the axe is tempting for the immediate results, the trident has more flexibility to engage targets that aren't quite adjacent. Throw in Portal Projectile to engage the ones that are out of reach, and then I think it all comes together. Here's another Starcurse mass. Can line of fire him. They don't divide when they're out of sight. They do have melee attacks, so it's worthwhile to shroud. Now he's in vision, but I've been playing with stuff other than the sling, but there's no real reason to neglect the sling. So I can go ahead and fire some shots when it's like this, because 1v, 2 is favorable for us. And with Lightning Spire firing bolts, even 2v2 is advantageous. So there we go. Very clean kill. good loot. Okay, Revenant and a Worldminder. So a Mana Viper is relevant. I need to maintain RN++, so means I have to use the sling. I'm not going to back away because the Revenant's eventually going to make a lot of noise and pull everything. So put the Lightning Spire where it can get some bounce attacks. It won't bounce off the metal wall, but it's on a decent diagonal with a lot of enemies. Got a Mana Viper on the Revenant now, although AoE may take him out. Could probably summon another Mana Viper, but maybe a yeah, another Mana Viper wouldn't be bad. Instead, I Sticky Flame. Or am I firing? What am I doing? Sticky Flame on the Revenant is good. Does his ghostly flame things, finally. Good job. Lightning Spire. Priority is the Worldminder now. Lost the Guardian Golem. Switch to the axe. I'm sticky flaming everything, which I guess is working out. And then an axe swing. Yeah, I think the Trident would have been better here as well. It's a little bit hard to follow exactly what happened there without stepping through the text, but basically that cluster got annihilated and I wound up at full health, so it was very effective. So at this point I'm thinking that I've basically figured out how to run the Abyss. Yeah. Reviewing, I saw some things that I can do better, but I probably have to go deeper before they would matter much. Which I could certainly do, but I'm not sure why. I mean, to get to deeper treasure vaults and maybe find some artifacts, the Abyss is not really great for that. I can fill up on loot on the upper floors, so why go deeper? And that's it. So thanks for watching.